you guys? It's Ash Linsky, and I know you might be a little confused right now because what you're looking at and what you're seeing is not a video game. It is a web page. I had an idea that's not the most original idea, but I was actually watching this morning Robert IDK do reading fan fiction, and I went, you know what? I would love to read fan fiction. I don't want to judge it. I just want to read it and be amused. And then I went, you know what? I really can't do this unless I start at the source and make fun of myself first. You may or may not know this about me, but being a fan first, as you can see, this is my fanfiction.net account. I've been a member since July 28th of 2006. It is now 2016. I've been a member of this site for 10 years, and I've written 61 stories. So when I say I'm a fangirl first, I generally mean I am a fangirl first. And I remember writing all 61 of these stories. Which is really, really sad, but I started the first one's published in 2009, and I'm thinking back, that was probably my high school freshman year or my end of middle school year. So I figured, you know what, if I'm going to start and do a fan fiction series, I have to go to the source. I have to make fun of myself first. So I'm going to look at some of my old fan fictions today. And if you've never seen these, I don't recommend reading them because all you're going to get is cringe. Some of these I haven't looked at in years. A lot of these I haven't looked at in years. Especially this account. And you can tell I haven't touched this account in a long time because it has, my general bio is just so... Let's read this. So, I'm Ashley, but just call me Bellatrix Kale, which, spoiler alert, that was my writing name. That was the alias I wanted to use to write back in high school. Anyways, just call me Bellatrix Kale. Not much more to put. I'm nerdy, creative, weird at times, can get easily hooked on things, and quite in love with a few things. What? My grammar is horrendous already. ARGs, alternate reality games. I used to be very big into those. Writing, watching movies, making movies, podcasts, fanfics, and much more. Oh, and then we get to the thing that's going to start the cringe. Please note, I ship everything. Nothing is off limits, which is still a little bit true to this day. I just do it quieter. I have all my fandoms listed, which I'm looking over them. I still love Supernatural to death. Lost, not so much. Dark Angel, not so much. House, not so much. Blade, yes. Teen Wolf, yes. Now posting all my stories to AO3, which is Archive of Our Own, which is I want to say that's the website you go to when you graduate from this one. And I do post on there. You probably won't be able to find me on there. Oh, and I put my YouTube link. So I must have updated this, a while ago. Yeah, I think I did. Anyways, I want to go to the bottom. I want to look. I want to make fun of myself because I distinctly remember maybe 2 years ago talking about my first fan fiction to someone that I ever wrote and put out there for people to read and how awful it was, but people liked it. And I was like, why do people like this? And I remember having one of my friends from school draw me my main character and everything, and it's just oh, reminiscing, man. Let's do it. Alright, so the first fanfiction I ever wrote was in the Jumper fandom. Which, fun fact, Jumper is probably the movie that if you ask me what my favorite movie of all time is, I'll tell you Jumper. And it's not that good of a movie, but I loved it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't even know if I want to read this. Let's just pick out sections. Let's just... Oh, boy. P, 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 G, P. Oh, okay, so I went through and, like, titled my perspectives. Alright, this is gonna be really weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a chapter in the middle of it, because that's probably... It's gonna be the best way. Let's go to G, which is... probably Griffin, because I used to think Griffin was the best character for the movie. Blah, 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 blah. Being with her. How long... Okay. This one's too long. We're gonna go into a shorter one. This one has 24 chapters. I am so sorry to anybody that knows me that's actually seeing this video and is about to be thrust upon them the cringe of this fan fiction. And if my phone could stop ringing, I would love that! Okay, this one's not that bad. I remember writing this one. Okay, so it's called Vix. It's with David and Griffin from Jumper. Because I used to ship that. Griffin couldn't believe it. He'd been perfectly healthy for months, yet here he was now, in bed, and so sick he couldn't move. Fucking hey, he grumbled with a cough. He didn't even feel sick. Everything just sorta hit him, and boy did it hit hard. Griffin barely managed to get in bed and take some medicine. It was a good thing David's worrisome. Otherwise, Griffin wouldn't have had any medicine. Just as he was thinking about him, Griffin jumped into the lair. Griffin, he called. Griffin let out a relieved sigh. Someone who could help him, thank God. Wait, hold up. I am so confused already. My past self likes to jump around when we're writing. In here, he called out in a hoarse voice. He didn't even sound like himself anymore. Sound more along the lines of a half-dead animal in his opinion, and he sure felt like one too. Half-dead animal? What kind of descriptor is that? He saw David walk around the corner looking at him funny. What are you looking at? He asked before letting out a violent cough that could have shaken the whole lair. God. You look like hell, Griff, David said. Are you sick? Griffin scowled and rolled onto his side to face him better. He winced as he moved, feeling his body telling him to stop. No, I'm bloody pretending. He rolled his eyes at the naive American. Could you do something for me? David's jaw dropped. You want help. Wow. Griffin gave his head a slow nod. He hated feeling so damn helpless, but what other choice did he have? Get me some more meds. Something for everything. Everything. Okay. David looked around aimlessly before wandering into the bathroom. He returned in minutes with some painkillers and a green and blue colored plastic container. Here, he handed Griffin the painkillers and kept the container in hand. What's that? Griffin asked before dry swallowing the 2 pills. I don't care how manly you are. You do not dry swallow pills. That hurts. Vicks, it'll help your head and nose. David told him. That cough, too. David knelt down aside of the bed and opened the green lid, making a disgusted face. It smells bad, though. Can't smell it, David, Griffin told him. Quite frankly, his nose was clogged up all to hell, and he was beginning to feel his head throb. What do you do with it? He got it from his bathroom. And he doesn't know what it does. Or how to... What? I need to have a talk with my past self on this one. David chuckled slowly. Rub it on your chest. Griffin wrinkled his nose up. No thanks, Rice boy. He didn't want David touching him or goop on his chest, for that matter. Fine, then you'll stay feeling congested. Only trying to help, he said, sitting the Vicks on the bedside table. Griffin groaned. All right, fine. I'd rather not feel like hell asleep. He rolled onto his back, facing the stone ceiling. David gave a nod and pushed the edge of Griffin's shirt up. Lift up so I can get it off, he told Griffin. Griffin lifted his back off the bed and smiled. David, don't take advantage of people when they're sick. He still had his bites, even if he was down and weak. Very funny, Griffin. David fake laughed as he carefully pulled Griffin's shirt over his head. Griffin groaned as his head fell onto the pillow. He watched David dip a few fingers into the container and pull them out, covered in clear goo. I warn you now, it'll probably be cold. I know. I wrote probably instead of probably. Not just as slang, but because I probably couldn't spell it. Whatever, Griffin said as he shut his eyes. Mere seconds later, he felt David's goo-covered fingers on his chest. He nearly yelped due to the cold and touch. Griffin bit his lip and simply grumbled as David worked the coated fingers across the upper area of his chest. At first, it hurt like hell, the pressure against sore and worn-out muscles not mixing, but after a few seconds, it felt good, soothing almost. If it weren't for the sporadic pain, I'd say this is enjoyable. He opened his eyes and saw David faintly blush. Huh? Sure, Griff. It's the drugs talking. He continued to work his hand on Griff's chest, moving down a little over the top of well-formed abs. No, I'm sorry. He did not have any of that in the movie. Past self, you're being an idiot. You're being a fangirl. Griffin shut his eyes again, hoping to fall asleep, but he let out a sigh. Thank you, David, he squeaked out. He felt David stop, his hand lingering over Griffin's heart. What? Griffin cracked an eye open and saw David staring at him wildly. Do you just moan? David could barely say the words, it seemed. No, listen, it was a sigh, you twit. He made the same sound again. David was quiet. Nope, definitely a moan, he said as he began the process again with more goop. Somebody likes us a little too much. Griffin shut both eyes. Sure, it felt wonderful, amazing, and calming, but he sighed. It was a sigh, right? He pushed the thought away and let himself drift to sleep as David rubbed Vicks across his chest. What the fuck? Where did I get... Hold on. Summary. Author's note. Author's note. There's always an author's note. I always wrote author's notes. This is now a new inside joke with myself, so when I see some Vicks, I snicker. I don't laugh when I see Vicks. That's not an inside joke that's stuck, apparently. What even? Oh, boy. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't write Mary Sue's and Gary Stu's as original characters. I physically wrote me and my best friend at the time into the stories. So right here where it says Ashley the jumper, no, that's me. I wrote myself into the story. I wrote a fan fiction that I was in. And Tori, the sensitive. Yep, that was my best friend throughout schooling. Her and I don't talk anymore, but, yeah, it's kind of funny. I should look at one of these. I'm gonna look at this one. Wait, no, maybe not that one. Yeah, I remember this one. I remember planning this one out with her. This is gonna be very cringeworthy. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna just read chapter 1 real quick, because it's not that long. The author's note says, I'm writing this little piece because of an idea Tori gave me. Thankies. But it's kind of funny, kind of random. You'll see familiar faces, and if you read Jump, then you'll notice Ashley and Tori. So without further ado, here's Venture on the Venture. Wait, what? So is this a prequel to that? I'm so confused already. Oh my god. Okay. This is the most cringeworthy thing I'm gonna do all month. Oh my god. I don't say oh my god anymore. So, oh my god, Ashley shouted, can we watch King Kong? Okay, yeah. Tori glared at her. If you stop jumping on the couch, we might be able to. Ashley stopped and fell down into a sitting position on the couch. Her dark and light mixed hair fell on her face. She blew the strand out of her face and glanced up at Tori. Do you even have the movie? Ashley held up the DVD box above her head and grinned. Never mind, of course you have it. Gimme. Did I just pull it out of, like, my ass? Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I hate my old writing. Ashley looked at her wildly. Are you crazy? She asked as she got up and went over to the DVD player, taking the disc out and waving it around. She put the disc in the disc slot and turned on the TV before jumping back to the couch. Tori was sitting on the couch. Ashley, I told you about using your ability in the house. Whatever, she groaned as she picked up the DVD player remote from the coffee table. She pressed play and the menu came on for the movie. From the beginning or scene 10. Huh? What are you talking about? Tori asked as she pushed her blonde hair away from the edge of her glasses. I'll start from the beginning, she grumbled as she pressed the enter button, causing the opening scene to start. Yay, Ashley shouted as the Universal Studios logo appeared on the TV screen. Tori simply clapped as the large title King Kong appeared shortly after. Why don't you use your ability to go there? She asked, pointing at the screen which was playing the opening scene. Ashley seemed to think about it, putting a finger to her lips. I can try. She leaned forward and focused on something, staring at the screen with a blank expression. Tori leaned up to look at her face, and she disappeared. Startled, Tori flinched back and stared at the empty seat next to her in awe. Ashley appeared, standing next to the couch with an overjoyed look. Yep, it's possible. She grinned from ear to ear. Want to go? Tori gave a nod. But what about our clothes? Ashley held up a finger and jumped away. In minutes, she returned with an armful of clothes. She dropped the pile on the coffee table and picked up a blue sundress with a matching hat. For you. Oh, God. Tori looked at her in disgust. You're kidding, right? Ashley shook her head and smirked. Fine, she sighed. She took the dress and stormed into her bedroom to change, leaving Ashley to pick a set of clothes for herself. Within minutes, Tori returned and Ashley stepped out of her own room, opposite of Tori's. Nice dress, Ashley snickered. Tori made a face at her. Why do you get the normal-ish clothes? Ashley rolled the long sleeves of the light brown button-up shirt to her elbows. Because I got the stuff. Don't complain. She pulled the dark trousers up a bit higher on her waist. I'll fit in better with the crew. Crew, we're going to the ship, Tori seemed to whine. Hell yes, Ashley said excitedly. We are getting on that boat if it's the last thing I do. Will we get to see Mr. Denham? Ashley made a face. Ew, no way. He's a complete ass. We're staying far away from him, she said, walking over to the table and picking up a black trench coat. They just randomly buy the coat! Ashley handed a similar brown one to Tori. Kind of chilly in winter. Best put it on. Ashley swiped the remote off the couch and pushed the menu button. She proceeded to select scene selection and scrolled all the way down to 40. Ready? I'm going to try and jump us to the ship directly. Tori buttoned a few of the jacket's buttons and grabbed Ashley's arm. Go ahead. Ashley smiled as she concentrated deeply on the boat in the background scene. In a blink, the two disappeared from their apartment building. Which, look at this. I didn't even spell apartment right. I have a lot of questions after reading that. Oh no. Oh no. Why did anybody ever let me near a computer when I was in high school? Oh, this was how long ago? 2009. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. A lot of this does not... I just want to cringe and just keep cringing. And I'm not gonna lie, I know exactly the reference I made about my own character when it said, should I start at a scene whatever? Because that's where the movie actually got interesting for me. Oh boy, let me just see. There's 12 chapters to this. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'm like skimming this. This whole section right here is literally our characters singing music that does not belong in the time period that movie is set in. Oh. We would not do this. This is just awful. The cringe is real. I gotta find something else. I can't. The cringe is real. Oh boy. And though that's not the only one. There's also Adventure Through the Jump Scar. I'm sure this one, called About Two Friends Getting Into Trouble, I'm sure that's our characters. The cards, yeah, I remember this one, where we created a crazy game where cards came to life and things came out of them, like in fucking Jumanji. Ugh. And then we would say, like, oh, right here, like Pokemon maybe. She held up a card and said, I choose you, Obi-Wan. She laid the card down on the coffee table. She thought a light flashed. Next thing she knew, Obi-Wan Kenobi was sitting on their coffee table. Her eyes went wide before she fainted. Yeah, I remember this one. This one was just so stupid. This is the dumbest thing. I was the dumbest person. And what's funny is I don't use this site at all anymore, and people still, like, I still get notifications all the time of people commenting or reviewing. It was reviews, not comments. People reviewing or subscribing or following me. Like, no, I left this part behind. Look, Adventure in Middle Earth. There's another one. Oh. Oh, and you can see where I started to get into supernatural. Oh. Adventure into the Apocalypse. It was a whole thing. Let's see what the most recent one is. The most recent one is a Blade fanfiction. A.U. Scud is an adventurer in the 1950s, and Deacon is a gang leader whose paths cross thanks to fate. And that was from 4 years ago. I'm tempted to click it, but I don't know what it is. I think I remember what it is. Okay, but yeah, that's me reading my old fan fictions. I got nothing to say about this. I don't understand why people liked my writing. It wasn't that good. But here we are. Here we are. We're, you know, I'm sure if I log in, people still are hitting up my stuff, which is amazing. I mean, anybody that's ever looked at this or read anything, or I passed it their way and said, here, please let me know what you think. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for putting you through that awful, awful torment. I don't know what I want to do for the next one. I will definitely be doing another one of these. Let me know in the comments. Throw me a fandom, throw me a ship, throw me something, throw me a story link. I don't care. Nothing can be as bad as this. So, that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And remember, I make new content every day, so hit the subscribe button so you can watch it when as soon as it goes up. And I'll see you in the next one.